Hello and welcome, or welcome back. This is going to be another edition of the Daily Dharma. My name's Dina. Thank you so much for joining. So today I have not put any cards out in advance of the reading. We're going to go ahead and get everything on camera. And before I get started with this deck, I'm actually feeling the impulse to get us one of these Kuan Kelly oracle cards, and then also some more oracle cards so we can ground the energy with some common themes. And if you've watched me, I generally like to read just a little bit out of these cards here. So let's see, I'm seeing the Book of Changes and Blessings of the Moon Maiden coming through here. So something may be changing as of the recent moon cycle at the time of this viewing. We just recently had the new moon in Leo, which talks a lot about self-expression and feeling accepted, feeling connected, feeling like you can be yourself and be authentic and unconditionally loved and accepted by others, and that they are somebody that you can offer that to in return. So let's go with this. Off the top, we have Bhadra Kali, number 14. Very strong energy from the root. And look at her facial expression. It's like you can almost feel her breathing, and as if she's almost with her gaze, maybe in another astral location or something. And her headdress too looks like, to me, flames, but also like snakes in the moment. And the lotus, it's to me giving me the image of her enlightenment, talking about her interconnectivity with the world, with herself, with her root, with her authenticity, her passion, her calling. And then she has the orange at her throat chakra and at the third eye. Or crown, if you want to look at it, because her third eye is actually even drawn on here. I don't know if you also have a nose piercing. You don't have to, clearly. I don't. It's just something that stood out. But this is an individual that's tapping into some very deep, primal, foundational nudges and needs, perhaps. Underneath, we have Maiden Ma Gu, number 16. So this card, for whatever reason, I can never recall the way that they really depicted in the book, because to me the imagery speaks differently to me, which is always the way I prefer to read cards. I always see this as the maiden that has something here. It's like she's been out in the field, she's been gathering all these flowers because ultimately she wants to share them, and aren't they so delightful, open, free, almost in her childlike essence, at home and at peace in the essence of nature itself, undisturbed, undetected, unobserved. And therefore she's in her multiplicity. She's also, at the same time as her innocence, in this state of interconnectivity and intense joy, delight, and peace and contentment, has its own vibrational intensity, and very connected to the earth. That is a vibrant red. It's the lifeblood of the essence that runs through us, and connects us all to this earthly plane, if you follow. But here she has this collection representing all of this energy, all of her intentions put into this basket, or this nest egg, or your home, or your person. That's this basket that she's out there just humming and singing and dancing and collecting. And all of a sudden, the big bad wolf comes along, and she's like, nope, you can't have this. I didn't gather this for you to make it into some type of poison, or to dump it all out, or to, this is for grandmother. Isn't that the way, the little basket? It's to grandmothers. So big bad wolf coming in. That's quite interesting. Let's read us just a little bit from this Kelly deck, number 14. And if you don't like the reading, just go ahead and skip forward. It'll probably only take us about a minute here to read this. Our wild divine mother knows when to become gentle with our hearts, bestowing sweetness that liberates us from fear. Though you may have faced much struggle and challenge on your path, though it may seem only the most powerful intensity could stem the tide of negativity, the dark mother of grace will conquer the obstacles to your freedom with gentleness. She manifests herself now as Bahadra the Gentle. She will calm the waves of emotion, eradicate doubt and despair, and provide safe and graceful passage through all difficulties. So I sense for many of us, I know this will seem a little bit dramatic to some, depending on the intensity of your situation, but I'm sensing a dealing with a big bad wolf at 5:55 on the timer. It talks a lot about protecting our energy, to have faith in the powers that be to protect our energy when we are consistently setting our boundaries and setting our intentions. There is some type of situation or talking in circles or misrepresentation or inauthenticity, somebody wearing a mask, somebody that's wearing grandmother's clothes, but underneath is the wolf type energy. Someone who appears unassuming or weak, but actually has these big, enormous teeth, right? To potentially disrupt the flow of our life with their either negativity. And we're being reminded to just set that boundary here. Below this, I'm seeing Nitya Kali 30. Again, talking about the mother cycles and the connection to Mother Earth and the root chakra. Number 30 may mean something to you. So I want to just go a little further here. This is the wish-filling Kali. She's an auspicious and gentle form of Kali Ma. She is Kalyana, who gives peace and happiness, the giver of windfalls and blessings. So yeah, this is like somebody coming along and being like, oh, I like the way that your blessing looks. Share it with me. I'll take some of that. Or don't be selfish. Aren't you going to share everything that you worked so hard for? And it's like, well, yeah, I am going to share it. That's why I collected it. But this particular basket is going to grandmother's house, right? So take that as you will. So she appears when a gentle way will best accomplish what's needed. And sometimes we're drawn to Kali as our goddess because of her ferocity and our need to embody that aspect of self. Sometimes what we learn as we connect with her is that we deserve tenderness, sweetness, and gentleness. That we've been far too hard on ourselves for far too long. She reminds us that we are strong enough to be gentle with ourselves. She softly and deftly breaks the pattern. We no longer need to engage in unnecessary drama under a mistaken notion that it's necessary for growth. Sometimes the growth is in choosing to cultivate and apply the kindness, strength, and wisdom needed to disentangle and disengage from the drama. It is about finding the inner strength to be true to ourselves in a moderate and peaceful state of being. So it goes on, and there is a lot of great information here talking about being open to joy and not blocking our blessings by continuing to engage something of a lower vibrational nature in our lives, and also mindfully monitoring the choices that we make in the media that we take in and the other opinions that we take in and so on. Any type of conditioning or programming and gaslighting I would add in here because of that big bad wolf. Yeah, and also just with the universe itself, many individuals will agree that in their lifetime they have become used to some type of either toxicity or pattern that doesn't serve. It's been kind of such a normalcy in their life that they don't understand when it's beginning and until it's well underway in its pattern. And all of a sudden there's this awakening like, oops, I did it again. That's that stupid song from the 2000s pop song or something. It's such a dumb song in my mind right now, because it's like somebody keeps doing the same thing over and over. And we're like, really? This is, whether that could be us in the same type of choices that are resulting in the same type of outcomes, or whether it's a person represented in our life that keeps showing their ass. Sorry, I didn't quite mean to say that. We've got a few cards popping out here from the love notes from the universe, because I think where I'm going with all of this is that in the midst of frustration, in the midst of awakening and being somehow disturbed or so on with these awarenesses, that it can, as the card read, it can become almost second nature to say, oh, well, I respond with intensity when I'm getting intensity thrown my way. But sometimes, have you seen the martial artists that work with displacing? Like, this person's coming at you with 1,000 pounds of aggression here, verbally or otherwise. Sometimes the best thing to do is just get out of the way and let them just continue their momentum and fall down on their own. And so in the same way, if we need to invoke the powers that be, the insights of the universe, some of our prayerful intentions can follow the idea of, I see that there is this pattern at play in my life again, perhaps, and it is my intention to grow through this and to graduate this lesson with grace and gentle reminders. I no longer need to engage in dramatic intensity to learn these lessons. I've had a lot of strife. I know it seemed normal, but I see now that I don't need to become angry, frustrated, heartbroken because something isn't for me. I release that because I'm getting something better by releasing something that doesn't serve. That's where that faith becomes evidenced. Turn on your love light. Sometimes the best way to remain sane is to love like crazy. Works for me, the universe. In case anyone should ask, your heart isn't so large because of your wings. It's your wings that are so large because of your heart. Sometimes loving so much can be pretty heavy. Thanks for all you've shared, the universe. P.S. It's just another one of those nutty body algorithm things. It's like somebody's telling you you're selfish while you're in the midst of giving and serving. It's like somebody's gaslighting for someone out there. And so you have this big open heart, which potentially is one of those things that magnetizes the big bad wolf type, but it doesn't mean that we need to keep letting them in. You know, nowadays we have cell phones. Hey, grandma, lock your door. I'm coming your way. Don't let anybody in, right? Maybe there's something like that needs to go down. And of course, all of these are symbolic. You glow, we beam. Thanks. It's about getting better, not bitter with our experiences. If somebody isn't honoring your soul, it's like, don't let yourself create inner doubt and saying, well, maybe they're a little bit right. Don't do that to yourself. If somebody diminishes your value or reduces some of your visions or ideas on a repetitive basis, not constructively, but destructively, don't let that get you down. Don't reduce to their low vibrational level. Rise above so they can't reach you. And the more that you're like, well, since I don't choose that by joining them in that, I'm not reducing my vibration and taking on that heaviness of loving somebody so unconditionally that doesn't perhaps, that doesn't honor that. It isn't that they don't necessarily deserve it. I think love is the only thing that can help these people, but it's not going to help with this at our expense energy that is only enabling to them and disabling to the giver. So I think all of those for most of us are obvious, but somebody is like, well, you know, we've been together a long time. I've seen that they do have good parts too, but it's like, it's not about that. It's about what type of life and vibration you wish to hold and whether you wish to keep them in your life, because this doesn't have to be like superficial relationships at work. It can be somebody very important to your life journey, such as, you know, a parent, a child, or so on. You'll all know your situation. But again, this turn your love light on, you glow, we beam. It's about being even doubling down on your awesome, doubling down on your self-belief, saying, you know, I understand that they are never going to see things my way, but that doesn't mean my thing is bad. It means the two of us are on completely different pages, perhaps. And I don't need to go over here and be on their team. I need to be on my team and say, you know, I do believe in what I'm doing. I do believe in the light of my mission and everything else. And going back and redirecting your energy front and center. So change is always good. Actually, the only effective way of changing another person is by changing yourself. Works every time, guaranteed. Though I'm kind of partial to the way you are right now. Tally ho, the universe. So yeah, it's about that going back and forth thing here. The lower the price of your love, the higher its value. Brain freeze, the universe. Talking about somebody undervaluing, undermining either your sense of worth, your sense of achievement, your sense of personal identity in some way. And you continue to be this love light. And this is like lending to you kind of earning some type of wings, like earth angel thing where it's like, well, now you understand how to unconditionally love somebody who's toxic. Check that off the list. And now invoke that there are going to be gentler lessons going forward, faster realizations, more boundaries, more distance, and more loving you from over there, where it doesn't have to be something that costs me, my person, my whatever. Thanks for every single time you ever fell in love, whether or not it was obvious, whether or not it lasted, and whether or not you were loved back. It changed everything. Actually, you were always loved back, you changer, the universe. Yeah, so again with that, every time there's a hater, they're actually paying attention to you because there's some kind of jealousy, envy, or something else. I shuffled these earlier and now I want this. Cosmic Flower comes out first. Number 18 talks to me very much about DNA activations and a bloom cycle, something that with this growth lesson, there's this, some people don't like the term, but glow up, you glow, we beam. It's like all of a sudden you're like, damn, I don't have to do that anymore. What if I did just think a little better about myself and really understand now the fullness of these individuals aren't hating on me because there's something wrong, but because they can't appreciate your authenticity, your connectivity, your depth. And so Cosmic Flower comes out saying that we've moved through a cycle of unclarity, and there's this enlightenment process, which is the activation of the DNA, where the light code hits the right buttons in the right combination, and boom, it's like more radiance, more presence, more magnetism and gravity invoked in that moment, because your vibration goes from one level up a couple notches. And so you've changed yourself by a eureka awareness. Underneath, yes, Merkaba. I kind of knew this was there. So this is the one that talks about the aura, again, with the magnetism by taking in all of those energies, integrating. There's that implosion moment where if it's like the greater, the higher the vibration, the more the impact of the of the quickening of the process of more enlightenments. It's like first thought, and then all of a sudden there's 3 thoughts, and all of a sudden there's like 7, and then it's like exponentially there's all this boom, 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 boom. And change starts being like automatic. And like, why didn't I do this 10 minutes, 10 years ago? And the Merkaba is the field of influence. So it's like whatever this internal change is, exponentially, it's like, bam, there you are coming out. And people are going to probably go, what happened to you? Did you do something? Did you get your hair done? You glow differently when you start really using your inner validation, inner beauty as your benchmark instead of somebody else that's in that bad spot and taking any of their opinions as though it has any type of depth to your process. That's a lot of tangent. I think that we needed that communication. There's going to be the need for something to be spoken. Let's get a couple more here. Realization. So I think first and foremost, this communication is that eureka moment where either you and your guides or your embodiment of that ferocity and gentleness of both Kali and then being like, you know, I don't need to go there. It's not worth any of the marbles any longer, right? So there's this realization of even just continuing to recognize the value of your own and that it's not worth even bringing it up to somebody if they're just going to diminish. And then the realization of what's coming in. That's one communication and your communication choices going forward. And here we have the divine masculine. And whether or not you are the divine masculine, this is the inner masculine self that is protective and providing to our own inner self. It says, I don't need another's opinion or validation to feel safe and secure in my authenticity. My life speaks for itself because I am a manifestation of the vibration that I keep and hold. My life is a manifestation of my intentions coming into fruition. You've made some difficult choices in your past already. You've been through good, bad, and ugly. And divine masculine is like that huge download that brings in that courage, strength, and capacity to say, you know, I don't care who says what. I feel best when I'm in my center and glowing, beaming. It's like that sun, golden light code activation coming through with that solar alignment happening with Lion's Gate, perhaps. And yeah, for some, you may be recognizing that somebody who appeared or masked themselves as some unassuming divine masculine and in their integrity, that they're communicating to you either verbally or otherwise things that are not divine and that you can act as your own guide, guardian, and so on in this situation and hold out for something that is a manifestation of that, whether that's a boss or colleagues, so on. Or I really feel it's an inner awareness of your own self. One more, synergy. Yeah, 41, yes. Synergy is the way that we work with energies. And I think that this is talking again about your ability to finally kind of like flow with this lesson, to flow with something that somebody is saying, and to recognize in the moment, perhaps something that's either white lie, a regular lie, lie by omission, or gaslighting. The way that somebody is speaking is really coming to light some more neural networks in your brain that are like, yeah, I totally get it now. I totally understand where this is going, what I have to do next. Yeah, let's get these. Underneath, yes, the Queen of Forces with the Garden, just 5 of Roses. That just wanted to fly out. Setting your course. So yeah, something companionability, but different pages, completely different worlds, even when you're next to each other, setting your course for something that you see in your future, something you've been planning for some time, getting on with it. And Queen of Forces all under the deck here, being balanced between light and dark. This is that, again, that tantric union with that feminine masculine with Kali's gentleness. It's like Kali is that integrated masculine feminine in that moment where she's both passionate and fierce, but knows her ferocity in such a way that she doesn't feel that she needs to defend herself because her life speaks for itself. Her look could kill. So underneath the deck here, or flying out from the deck, we have two majors. Okay, we've got the Buddha prepares, number 13. Being prepared for something. This lesson is checking this all off the list here. You're prepared now for the next level. You're setting your energy. You're clearing your time, space, environment, your beingness. Maybe even detoxing and doing some healing here, because then next we have 8, Archangel Raphael coming into, I believe, hold the heart, the portal of the hearts of those that are coming with purity, intention, and high universal love. I believe that he's helping us to hold the heart gate open during this transition time of the Lion's Gate, especially with the love light and glow. I keep pointing to those. They're very prominent here. And with this Maiden Magoo, look at how much golden light code energy she's basked in right here. It's you're being prepared. And then he also having that glow around him and glowing in the background. There's a new day dawning where there's more connectivity and more awareness. And there's something about the light wings here, which I believe is an activation that comes out through the part of the back right below the shoulder blades on the inside, either side of the spine, but below, and inside of the shoulder blades, but below. That's where I feel it. And if you've been feeling tension there, I think it's like growing pains of almost there, almost sprouting, like a teething child, if you catch my meaning. So spring, autumn, we're just about at the crux of the changing season here. So something is growing, evolving, and changing. And I do believe that we're going to start to see something juxtaposed, something that was fading away and something that's growing into being symbolically in our life as well at the time of this transition and of seasons. I think that we're going to see in the collective that there is also a transition of our life focus, and something that was really important but was on its way out. As it fades down, something else is coming online. This is always evidenced by nature. And if we're feeling low, depressed, or fearful or anxious, tell yourself this: the patterns are always overlapping. Something can't come in until something is being released. And what is released or taken, as the case might seem, is always replaced by something else. And the higher the vibrational resonance and self-belief and self-love that we can manage here, the more that we're going to resonate with higher, better things to come and find us, because that's, again, the magnet is invoked here. And so our emotional resonance and how we feel about a situation, what we focus on, either like resentment, spite, and frustration over what's been here, versus getting excited about what's coming in for you, the blessings on their way. Like, act like a kid at, like, okay, you might not celebrate Christmas, but you get the idea, like a kid that's going to be spoiled with a few extra gifts. And it's like, you don't quite know what you are going to unwrap, but you've kind of made your wish list known in one way or another, maybe very obviously. Maybe you wrote that thing down and sent it to 5 different loved ones and Santa. It's like being a match for something enormous and incredible is going to bring that in. So trust in the good being better than what is being learned. And then lastly, we have this Queen of Roses. To me, this often looks like somebody that's looking at either their phone or some type of message, or like even potentially a trinket or something that was gifted to this individual. But Queen of Roses is somebody who's in their emotional center here, and somebody who's really contemplating their passions, and she appears to me to be pacing in front of her throne. So yeah, there's definitely a lot going on here. Let's close out the reading. We know the basic gist. Big bad wolf, no room for you here. Let's take that one, and this one, and this. Every step counts underneath number 10. There's an advantage in taking things slowly. Breathe deeply and fully as you consider your options, whether that's retaliation or response in the moment, or planning your next move and escape, that charting your own journey that came up. It's like you already know that you can expect good things. 6, looking at the underbelly, quite interesting. It's like somebody showing their ass, I said, right? So, and also our own vulnerability and being able to unconditionally understand the inner child of those that are jealous or envious, or, doing something that they wouldn't do if they understood what they were up to. But it's that toxic self-sabotaging behavior that doesn't need to include us any longer. That's what I'm feeling with this underbelly. Be sure that you're using your time in the best possible manner. You might consider taking time to organize yourself, cleaning up things, or perhaps a project that you're working on could use some fine tuning. And it does look like you're kind of fine tuning your connection and your view of yourself, and some type of glow up energy. 33 is the other one that came out. Let your personality shine. Yes, that glowing, that showing yourself, the getting a double take from people who take you in. You have something no one else has that makes you who you are. Stop comparing yourself to others and allow your uniqueness to shine through. So everything that you do during this time is really going to make a difference. And I think that first and foremost, it's by holding the vibration of deep love, inner respect, and so on at your core. So praying for you and your process, wishing you the best, and sending you so much love. I appreciate you so much. And do consider hitting some of those buttons here on the screen to help out and grow the channel. And I will see you next time. Thanks, guys.